All right. Let's see. Let's just go live. All right. It says we're going live, and it says we are here. Is this one? Are they both blinking?
Yeah, they're like flickering a little bit.
Or is that power? I don't know. They're not flickering in here. All right, everyone. We are live with Zoe and myself talking um, skeleton crew. Here, Zoe's going to talk while
Sorry, I'm pulling up the TikTok. So
pulling off the TikTok so we can watch the chat. Okay, good. And I am pulling up this. Here we go. Yeah, look, there we are. You have to go here, edit audience to everybody. And I think, are we on TikTok now? Okay, are we?
Not showing
it's not
up.
showing
oh,
up.
There it is.
There it is. We're live. Okay, we're talking.
Okay. Got it.
We're talking
Skeleton
Crew finale.
In my Neil outfit.
And we're here with Neil, Zoe from Neil Nation. TheNeilNation.com, Star Wars Geek Girl. We are talking Skeleton Crew finale, 8 episodes, which went way too fast.
I know. I think they should have made a bajillion episodes.
Well, I would like to just see them have Star Wars, like just have a season like the olden days of 20s. You know,
they did a lot with their 8 episodes, so
they were very good episodes.
Hi, Herman.
And then we have Herman too.
Herman's
we
here.
have Herman. He liked it, but he slept through the end. Once he wasn't a big fan of what did he?
Piece of paper in his mouth.
Herman. So what did you think, Zoe, of the finale?
I loved it. I think I think I loved the show the whole time. I think this episode cemented it as my new favorite live action Star Wars show.
Really?
I think it beat Andor for me.
Well,
I didn't think it would. I didn't think anything would, but we'll see till when Andor season 2 comes out.
Well, that's true. It's it's one of my favorites. I mean, I it's hard for me to have a favorite because depending on which one I'm watching, I like the ending. I liked that Jod didn't change that much. Like he stayed evil. I was worried. I was worried he was going to do something like
a
good.
Kylo Ren thing, like where
yeah. But I liked that they wrapped it up, but didn't wrap it up. Like I liked that we didn't just get like a whole Jod episode, and we didn't get. So I liked that part. I liked that all the kids came together. I thought Neil would do a little more with the big gun. I thought the big gun would last a little longer.
He's the reason KB got out.
Well, that's true. Message. That's true.
He was the key to it all.
Yeah, that's true. He did save the day when it came to that.
But all the kids, played an important role and kind of came together and were guiding the adults on what to do. And
yeah.
We had to learn a lot about Atten and some about Jod.
Yeah, well, I think you and I were kind of right about Atten in the sense that it was just kind of being run.
Yeah,
like it was kind of forgot. Yeah,
autopilot.
So it means that none of those people ever got to see the
stars.
No, but none of them ever got to see the leader.
Yeah. Well, because Fern's mom said he rarely lets people up. So I wonder because she didn't seem surprised. Fern's mom didn't seem surprised with the droid. Because when Jod was surprised, she was like, "Well, that's the great work is to have."
Okay.
So I'm sure not everybody knew, but
Yeah, I thought they should have probably put some more protection on him than. I mean, he basically.
Yeah, I don't think they anticipated. They did put a lot of protection on the whole plan. Like you have to get through a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, they didn't even check his credentials to you thought. I mean, they.
But I wonder, because it's been so long since they as far as Atten's concerned, the last message they ever got from the Republic was that the Jedi are traitors.
Right.
Which at this point would have been almost 30 years ago.
But do you think
if they don't have communications, if they're not tied into the network of the Republic and what's going on, they have no way to check.
That's true.
He could have been hired 29 years ago, and they
wouldn't know. I also wonder if just the leader knew that.
Yeah.
Like if all the people were just kind of in the dark.
Yeah.
Like Fern's mom might not have known that the Jedi were traitors.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh No, not saying that, but I'm saying like if that's the last thing they ever received, then they wouldn't have a way, because like if someone got hired 29 years ago instead of 30, you wouldn't be able to check it if you're not tied into the network.
That's true.
Like if the only message they got was the Jedi are traitors, and they weren't getting updates on staffing.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Now I wonder what happens to AT-AT now, because like they can't just keep making money.
Yeah.
Because they weren't putting the money out there, so they can't just keep making money. So I wonder.
Yeah. Well, they're part of the Republic now, presumably.
Yeah.
Or at least the Republic knows of them, because the Republic, you read the books, the Republic is not like forcing anyone to join the New Republic.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are joining.
Well, they're going to have to join because they don't have any army or ships, or like there's, as far as we know, there's no ships on that planet. Hermie doesn't think so. So yeah. Well, that's. Oh, wait, we do. Let me see. I forgot to open my chat. I got a blue glowing chat. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. But it felt old to me.
Felt odd.
Oh, well, there could be a season 2. I just don't think they promised a season 2.
I think because it's sort of like The Acolyte, where both shows, as far as like what the creator said, was set up to just be one season.
Yeah.
But they left the door open for season 2 on purpose.
Yeah.
And so I think both Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte did that. Personally, I think Skeleton Crew did a little better. Yeah. I think if The Acolyte does end up only being one season, that is a pretty rough ending for it to leave on. Whereas Skeleton Crew, I think, as much as I hope it gets 2 and 5 and 10 seasons, I think this was an okay ending. Like, even though it didn't spell it out, we can assume like John gets arrested, that AT-AT is related to the New Republic now, and
well, it was kind of like it's keeping on its 80s theme of like Goonies type thing. It was a Goonies 80s type ending, in the sense that at the last minute everything kind of came together. So that was kind of cool. Now the kids are much older.
A little bit. Like if you look at the promotional materials they've done in the past month or so, Neil doesn't matter. Neil can.
Yeah. That's.
But the kids, they look a little bit older, but I don't think it's like a dramatic like Michael Cera in the Arrested Development revival kind of deal.
Right. But I mean, if you figure if
Imperial credits. Well, but they made Old Republic credits, which I guess if the New Republic wants to put those back into circulation,
and they'll just become AT-AT will be like an antique mall planet.
It's like Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah. That's what it'd be. It'll be Star Wars Colonial Williamsburg, where people will come there and get like snow globes, and
they have this little. You can get your credits stamped.
You put a credit in, and it smashes one that says AT-AT, and yeah.
Great work in the Republic.
Yeah,
they do design,
and all of a pirate theme, little pirate theme gift shop or something like that.
I will say when there's Empire.
What do you say?
Yeah. They mentioned 166. I thought they were making money for the Republic, but they're actually making money for the Empire when they were on at Akron. So the show takes place at the same time as The Mandalorian, because it takes place right after Mando season 3. Because the one pirate in this show, Vane, he's in this show because his old boss got killed in season 3.
Right, but what he's saying is they were making. So if they were told that the Jedis were traitors, so they were still going.
That was their last Republic transmission. So they were going strong up to Order 66, and they didn't hear anything because the Empire stopped contacting them.
Oh, that's true. So maybe,
I don't think they could have made money for the Empire because their credits look different. The Republic credits look very different than the Imperial credits. And also they had all that stuff. They had 1,139 vaults stored of credits. And if they're making for the Empire, they wouldn't have that much stored after only 5 years.
That's true. Yeah, Akron had Imperial helmets, but all those planets fell. Like they were all found.
Yeah, AT-AT was the last one still hidden.
Yeah, so they were found. They were probably found years before. Like they,
Because I don't think AT-AT had any because even remember when they show in like the second episode when they show the credits when they try to buy stuff with the credits, all the pirates are like shocked that they have Old Republic credits.
Yeah.
Where if the Empire had still been using those old credits, they wouldn't have been shocked.
That's right. Yeah, and was it Imperial credits were looked down upon, I think, in Mando.
In certain parts.
In
yeah.
Mando.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi,
Because Hermie had needed a toy. Yeah, so it was good. I mean, I was glad Neil went and got the big blaster. So that was.
You've been talking about Neil getting that big blaster basically since he found it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with.
It's a Chekhov's turbo laser.
Yeah. But that was.
We also got to see Neil's dad.
Yeah,
Neil's dad didn't do much.
No, he just ran around with the kids.
I
I thought Neil's dad was going to have a bigger part, but I guess when you don't want to take away from Neil.
Yeah.
We don't want Neil's dad nation.
Although I did love Wim's dad in this episode.
Yeah,
Wim's dad for most of the show earlier was like very stiff and straight laced.
Well,
even in his message to Wim, he seemed like kind of awkward, like he didn't really know what to say. But then this episode, he was like he was whooping and hollering with them with the bikes, and he punched Jod out, and that was awesome.
Because Wim's dad, I felt like always treated Wim poorly.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. I just think he just didn't understand Wim.
Yeah.
So Wim
but I think he got an understanding of him this episode.
So.
And I think Wim understood his dad better this episode too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wim just saw his dad as some boring coordinator, not realizing what that job means and how his dad can actually be fun. Because we know that Wim lost his mom not too long before.
Yeah. Did it ever say how he was lost? Like I wasn't sure if that lost meant she left the planet or if she passed away.
There's no ships on the planet. I assume she passed.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. Like, is that what they told? I didn't know if someone left the planet. Did they tell them like, "Oh, your mother was lost"? Like that was. I wasn't sure if that was what was said. So, but I really liked it. I mean, I'm sad. I'm sad that it's over.
I enjoyed it. I hope even if we don't get to season 2, sort of like what I said exactly. Even if we don't get to season 2, I'd love to see these kids show up elsewhere, whether it's in, because we have a lot of shows in this timeline, right? We have more Mando coming, Ahsoka, or even in some books and comics,
Yeah, well, they could
especially because these kids could pop up like whenever they dip their toes back into making sequel trilogy era stuff.
Yeah,
these kids are about Poe Dameron's age. These
kids. Yeah. Well, they could also show up in the new Mando movie.
Yeah.
With
I'm saying just the way Wim was looking up at those ships at the very, very, very end, like that last shot of the show. Makes me think we have a future pilot on our hands.
I would hate to see that kid recast, though. I think they should save the spot.
No, I'm not saying recast. I'm just saying, comics and books and cartoons.
Yeah.
And Fern, Fern would get along with Poe.
Yeah, here we got Wim. Yeah, Wim's dad has some more redemption arc. Yeah, that's what I was saying about it ending like an 80s movie. It was a good series. And I've said this to Ken. I still wish they would just come up with a Star Wars TV show that we just get different stories. Like just every Tuesday night on Disney Plus is a Star Wars TV show.
Yeah.
Poor Herman does not know what we're doing. He's just like standing here like, why isn't anyone petting me?
I was petting him when he walked away.
Yeah. And Zoe's in her Neil outfit. That was too late for her to wear to premiere.
It got there the day after. No, it got there the night. It got there while it was at the premiere.
Yeah. You didn't want to leave the premiere. So so you saw it from premiere to this.
Yeah.
What's your overall series thoughts?
Oh, fantastic! I think it's fantastic. I think the character work is really good. I also think that the actors, really great performances from all the actors.
Yeah.
I know sometimes, like we say, like, oh, because I don't think Star Wars has any bad child actor performances, and if people would disagree with me on that, I don't think there are any bad ones. But I think there are some that, not just in Star Wars, but in general, like Oh, that was a good performance for a child actor.
Yeah.
Where I think these were good performances.
Right.
From all four of the kids.
Well,
especially the girls. I think the girls were standouts as far as performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I am curious about Jod's backstory, but see that's where I'm hoping, like, that's where I would like to see, like, just give us a 2 or 3 episode Jod story.
Maybe a Tales of the Jedi.
Or Tales of the Jedi, or Tales of it could be Pirates and Tales of the Pirates.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a Hondo, but we did not get a Hondo.
I think Hondo exists in a different class of pirates than these.
I get,
like whenever we see Hondo, even when he's being an antagonist, he's never really doing anything that bad.
Yeah.
Except for, I guess he was like kind of tormenting some of those farmers on Ryla or on Felucia. But for the most part, he's not really doing anything too bad. Where I think these pirates were a bit more realistic-ish pirates, right?
Yeah. Okay, so here, this says, this is told after season 3 Mandos. Is this 7 years after Return of the Jedi?
I don't know if they've stated exactly how long after Mando is, but I don't think it's terribly long. Like, I think this was like the vein, that pirate. I think this is just like his next job after Marion Shard.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like a year, 2 years. But I don't think it's much farther.
Right. It'll be in the updated timelines book.
Oh yeah.
So.
But whenever they talked, like whenever like John Watts and all those guys talked about it, they always talked about it being roughly at the same time as everything else.
I like when they don't pinpoint it down, so then when they do figure out where they want to stick it, then you don't have everyone crying that someone ruined their show.
Well, also someone mentioned Jod's backstory in the female Jedi, and I really like getting that backstory because I think it was I think a lot of us, myself included, kind of pinned him as being like a former Jedi in a sense, like a young kid who was displaced for Order 66.
Yeah.
And he then became really jaded instead of our other Order 66 Jedis. But I think this was a really interesting twist on that. Because everyone expected him to be like another Kanan or Cal or Ahsoka, but one that went bad.
Yeah.
Where I think he really was an Ezra. But if there was no Ghost Crew, just him and Kanan died in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens to Ezra then? I think that was which was really interesting. And I think it also kind of made a lot of his character very, very clear, right? Because a lot of times when we talk about people who are raised as a Jedi, like, children who are in that culture and that religion from a young age and who are raised and learn it, like I don't say they're better balanced, but better balanced than Jod is. And like I always think about in Obi-Wan Kenobi when the Inquisitor talks about Jedi, he says they have an itch. They're compassion. They can't help but help people, and we don't see that with Jod.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting that he's, sort of like this Boken Jedi, like they call them in Ahsoka, but got his training cut off very early. He learned a little bit. He learned kind of very surface level understanding of Jedi, because that's why when he was talking to Win, he's like quoting these things that kind of sound like what a Jedi would say, but don't really when you actually think about it. Yeah, and it's just because he had this very surface level kind of skimming overview before, unfortunately, it was taken from him. That experience jaded him further.
I wonder if I'm curious what Jedi it was.
I kind of hope it was just a random Jedi. There's a lot of Jedi. There are a lot of Jedi.
What if it was like a really bad Jedi, like a slacker Jedi, like.
Well, maybe I don't know if Jod is a reflection on that Jedi though, or just a reflection of the circumstances, right?
Well,
or if it was like maybe not a bad Jedi, but like think of Kanan. Kanan was a Padawan. He had no idea when he was training Ezra, and he tried to be good with it because he had the support system of Hera and Zeb and Sabine and later Ahsoka. But imagine a Jedi who's maybe displaced for Order 66 as a young Padawan, finds a kid younger than them, and they want to try their best to train them.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I wonder. Like if it was a Jedi that was due to circumstance or just due to pride, like all thinking I could train them and I don't need all that extra help at the temple. Or like you said, if they lost their Padawan. No temple.
It was post Order 66.
Well, right.
The Jedi was hunted down.
Right. But that's what I mean. Like I just wondered the whole.
I don't know if it was. I think it was just someone trying their best.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of Jedi that are very prideful.
I don't know. There's a lot. The
ones that are don't turn out to be Jedi for very long.
There's a lot that get a little like. I think Obi-Wan was. I think Qui-Gon was a little prideful.
Qui-Gon was prideful.
He was a little like
but
holier than thou.
Qui-Gon is as prideful as what you're implying this Jedi who trained Jod would have been.
No, but I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
He could have just, I mean, no, I'm just all the Qui-Gon people are gonna be mad at me now.
It was just a random.
What if it was? Jedi. What if it was? Yeah. What if it was like?
Or it was Shakti, only because Shakti has a lot of deaths, and
yeah, but she didn't get killed more in Order 66.
Well, it depends on which one you look at. Shakti has a lot of deaths, none of which are technically confirmed canon.
Well, that's true.
That's true. She was killed as a survivor in one of the comics.
Right, and she was also originally she was
by Grievous.
The original she was killed by Grievous. She was
also killed in the library by Anakin. And another deleted scene that was in a video game.
And then she was
killed in the Force Unleashed.
That's true. Well, Force Unleashed.
Unleashed isn't canon.
You can't really count that, even when that was.
No.
Even
but
when
I'm just saying, it just adds to her tally of deaths.
Yeah. That's understandable. But yeah, no, it was good. I don't know if it was just a good TV series. Like, here's my thoughts on it though. I wonder, and I said this to a couple times to Ken and other people. I think what Star Wars television suffers from is people don't treat it with a respect when they watch it like they do when they go to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
They have their phone on them. They get up at when you and I got up early in the mornings and watched all the other shows, you still don't get to see it as well when you get up, like if you get up 25 minutes before you have to leave for work because your mind is distracted by it. Well, is this going to get done? Or if you watch it on their phone because at lunch because you don't want to have it spoiled. So I think what helped this show was it was on a normal time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just watch it like normal time and not be overly tired. You wouldn't you could, before you go to bed, watch it, not have to, worry if it gets spoiled for you the next day. And I hope they keep doing stuff like that.
Yeah. I also think something really nice with this show is I feel like, because any Star Wars can be someone's first Star Wars.
Right.
Right. And I think this would be a great first Star Wars. I think because it's not tied to anything besides Vane, who's hardly in either show.
Right. And then X-Wings.
And X-Wings. But there's no pre-existing characters. They don't, it's not even they go, because they easily could have been instead of going to Kim, instead of the owl, they go find Maz or something. And it wasn't it was totally on its own.
Well, I was glad they used the owl.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying it was and I think this is would make it such a great entry point to people who aren't sure, aren't sure if they want to get into the more modern Star Wars or what. I think this would be a great entry point because I love recommending Andor to people, because even though Andor is Cassian and Mothma, I think watch it just on its own as a sci-fi show. But I think with Andor's kind of heavy. And I think, especially those first 3 episodes, I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I know they can be a lot for people who get into, especially, everyone's has their TikTok damaged attention spans and everything.
Right.
Slightly more slow. Slightly more slow moving episodes. This first couple.
Well, when TikTok leaves, then people might watch more Star Wars.
Maybe, or they'll go on Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
But either way, I think, as much as I love Andor, I think unless you're someone who already likes those kind of shows, I think it might be harder. But if you're someone who wants that more adventure, return to the Goonies kind of feel, I think this would be such a great entry point. And for kids,
you can.
Too.
I mean, there's still they kill the werewolf guy pretty. He does do. Some,
you don't see it.
He does some. Yes, Dan. This is my Dan shirt right here.
I made a 3PO video on TikTok.
Yes, today. Zoe did a good 3PO TikTok too.
No,
I mean it is a good entry level show because
I think any kid that can watch Clone Wars could watch this show.
Oh yeah. I don't think anything would but you could watch it as a family, of any age. You could watch it because it's just fun.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that ties it to the other Star Wars, but there's enough to make you want to branch out. I felt that way about Mandalorian. You could watch the first season of Mandalorian, and it had so many Easter eggs in it. But I this show, they could have put Easter eggs in it, probably more, and I'm almost glad they didn't, because like what I was saying about the owl lady, if this show would have come out 5 years ago, they would have probably stuck Maz in that spot.
Maz, yeah.
You
know,
know,
and I love Maz.
and I love
Maz. Happy
no,
to see Maz.
I love Maz too. But if you want an entry level show that people are going to give a try, Herman, what are you eating? Then yeah, Herman. But if you want to enter a show, this would be definitely a good show to enter.
I think it'd be a great show. Like, as much as I know sometimes people I roll at it now, but as much as we talk about like representation, I think this is a show for that, specifically with KB and being a disabled kid, and you know, the lesson both for her and for the other kids on how to communicate, and you know, knowing when to adapt to your friends and what they might need from you, and and being a good friend. Like, I think,
well, and it brings kindness back. Like not saying Star Wars ever had to, but it makes the kind-hearted, like Neil, the neilnation.com. Neil was just like such a good person.
You know? I also loved in this episode Fern's line to her mom, like, as much as people were trying to hurt them, as much as it was dangerous in the galaxy, there were just as many good people trying to help also.
Yeah, that was a strong statement, because we also live in a world where people, so many people are afraid of everything. Like, they're afraid of whoever lives next door. They're afraid of the boogeyman, this and that. And it, like, all these people, they yearn for the 80s when you rode your bikes till midnight or whatever.
And that's what saves them is knowing that person who was kind to them, and calling out for help and reaching out for help, and that's what helped them in the end. And but you think of everyone, like that woman in episode 2 who was asking kids where they're from, and
just trying to help them,
and then all the, you know, Hana and the kids on their planet,
that real big
big guy from the spa planet.
Yeah. You know, I still liked his mask, the pirate's mask.
Captain Silva.
And
I just like that it looks like a pirate hat.
Yeah, that was good costuming work.
Oh yeah, great.
I still want to see the pistols. I love those pistols. I didn't like Jod's character. I mean, I liked him, but he was not a nice person. But I do like his outfit.
Yeah, I like his kind of like flintlock style, like handle to his.
It had that. Yeah, it had the pirate blunderbuss looking, like you could use it as a club if you ran out of blaster bullets.
Poor Brutus, though.
Yeah, Brutus. Cool. Yeah.
Cool guy.
Brutus didn't last too long.
He lasted up till episode 7.
I know he didn't last. But see, you know, and that's the other part of Jod's story was his greed got the best of him.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that, like, if he had just helped the kids, and obviously he had ulterior motives the whole time, but if he had just helped the kids and gone to Atten, the people of Atten probably would have thanked him for bringing their kids back and gave him a job.
He would have got a job, or he would have just got gold. Like, he would have just, or they would have, you know.
I don't know if they would have sent him on his way because they wanted to stay secret, but.
No, but I mean, if he would have, you know, just stuck with them and not like, he could have just got some gold and left. Like, that was kind of like the, you know, the pirate mentality was they never has enough, you know. So,
well, especially because when KB gets to the ship, it's already stacked with gold.
Yeah,
all Jod had to do was leave.
Yep, that's all he had to do
with some gold, and
it was very good. I mean, I was sad to see like Atten get kind of destroyed. I was hoping.
I was pretty stressed when those X-wings were shooting at that pirate ship above the neighborhood.
Yeah, because I was like, well, that's going to make a mess.
But they did some property damage, but it mostly landed in the water.
No, I guess they can't once you can't turn that cloud back on.
No, it didn't seem like it because it would destroy the barrier.
I mean, you know, so, and then everyone would know it's there anyway.
Yeah.
Imagine that change though for those people. Like, if you lived on a planet like we're on Earth and we can't go to other planets. Imagine if tomorrow we learned that there was a big barrier around us and the whole universe is like flying around everywhere. Like, that would change fundamentally everything on the planet.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah.
So, I'm curious to see again, even if it's in like books and stuff. Like you know how much I love my long drawn out Senate scenes. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Incorporating into the Republic and what that looks like, and even the kids are a little older.
Yeah.
If they want to, maybe they want to stay on ad, find a job. Neil might want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Neil and Wim are destined for adventures.
Yeah, but maybe like I said, I could see Wim and Fern in the cockpit of some.
I would love to see them. I would love to see another kids adventure. I was hoping when they left to ask for help that they somehow got lost again. Like I was hoping that then it would just.
I like that it was a.
No, I'm glad it happened the way it did.
Because now the galaxy's open to them. Maybe they'll be teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the book Free Fall about Poe Dameron as a reckless teen who goes off on an adventure and gets tangled up with spice runners. And I don't know if these kids. I want to see these kids.
I don't want to see them. Yeah, I don't want to see them spice running.
Maybe they run off and have another adventure. Now the galaxy's open to them. And
yeah. Well, they might go back to that spa planet. There was still a lot of stuff left there.
Well, I hope they go. I do hope they tell the Republic about Ad Axon with Hana, because those people are having a really sucky life.
That's true. That's true.
So I'm sure Neil will remember to mention that to someone, and maybe the Republic can go find that planet and
yeah, that would be a different adventure. So overall, I think we give it as many thumbs up as we give. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now you and Lizzie. So before we go, first off, where can people find you?
I'm on.
Let me see if I have.
So for Star Wars Geek Girl, we have StarWarsGeekGirl.com, and that's where you'll find some polls. You can vote for your most anticipated project of 2025 right now if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Although not a ton has been announced that's confirmed for this year, so we don't do everything. And then you can follow us at SW Geek Girl on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, and then on Facebook, Star Wars Geek Girl. For me, myself, I'm on Twitter, Blue Sky, at Zoeka, and Instagram, TikTok, for as long as TikTok's still around.
Right.
_5. Lizzie and I will be recording a podcast about the finale. I just wanted to do like a little right after we watched it.
Yeah, this was nice.
We were going to record an episode. We did miss episode 7. We were going to record it, and then the city we both live in was on fire, so kind of got preoccupied.
Right, and Zoe's home.
I'm home. I'm very far away. Lizzie also. I'm not going to dox where Lizzie lives. Lizzie's safe as well.
Right, fires. But yeah, Zoe's. This was our Christmas week. It just happened to coincide with the fires.
This was a trip. We planned this in November.
Yeah,
long planned.
Yeah,
and then it just happened to be really good timing.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can find me here weekly, most of the time on Inflatable Falcon, Hinton Star Wars Family, on other stuff. Neil Nation, theneilnation.com. Zoe will be putting up some Neil Nation stuff, right?
Will
I think so. I think you should put fashion tips up for Neil Nation.
I already have Fit Inspo on there.
A what?
Fit Inspo.
What's that?
It's outfit inspiration.
Okay. So you have so we'll have that, and
there's pictures of Neil. There's Neil fun facts.
Yeah. So
there's a video of Neil.
So yeah, check theneilnation.com, and yeah. So we have there's tons of Star Wars shows coming out talking about it. I will say check Steel Wars' newest show. He has a link on his show to help out a teacher who lost their house in the fire.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can go to steelwars.com or listen to any Steel's newer shows, he does have a link to GoFundMe to help Harry's teacher.
One of his son's teacher.
That lost her entire house in the fire. So, or help any of the fire, any fire reliefs. There's tons of places going out. But next time I guess you hear from Zoe, she could possibly be in LA. Back in LA.
Probably. We have exciting stuff coming up this year with Star Wars Geek Girl podcast guests. Even when Skeleton Crew ends, I still have a list of podcasts to record. So things about books and stuff.
Good. Keep them coming. Once a week. That's fine.
I'm caught up on my Star Wars novels. What I'm rereading. There were 5 books that I read before I started doing book reviews. I'm in the process of rereading those 5.
Okay.
Post book reviews of them.
So
and then I'll be out of Star Wars canon books to review. I have to wait for.
So Zoe has read all the Star Wars books. So if you're out there,
I'm making my way through the comics. I'm reading the Poe Dameron comics right now.
Okay.
Pretty fun.
So yeah, check her webpage out, StarWarsGeekGirl.com.
And keep an eye out for February 7th, Star Wars podcast.
Oh yeah, Star Wars Podcast Day.
Not just for our podcast, for everybody's podcast.
Yes, all the podcasts out there. Blue Milk was chimed in today. If you Rambling Star Wars fan with Ken, John has his Beskar Bucket. The Rogue Rebels, all these podcasts, check them out. Like, subscribe, share the podcast. That's all the podcasters want. They don't want your money.
Well, some people do.
Yeah, that's fine. Some people need money to support their show, but also check out, like I said, Steel Wars, and you can help out in that way. Yeah. And Zoe got more shows, and I don't have to harass you as much to get shows out, which is good.
Yeah.
This is their 10th year. It'll be 10 years in October.
Mm-hmm.
That her and Lizzie have been podcasting. So,
and
anything else?
We got some good Star Wars books coming up. Star Wars Hunters is going strong.
Yep. Outlaws,
which we are getting a Hondo. If you wish for Hondo in Skeleton Crew and you were sad we didn't get him, there's a Hondo DLC coming to Outlaws.
Okay.
I think next month, either next month or March.
And then what's the game we played? Sabacc. What's it called?
Oh, Kessel Sabacc.
Kessel Sabacc. That was fun. So if you can get a hold of a Kessel.
Sometimes I boot up Outlaws just to play Kessel Sabacc.
Well, I think Zoe should do a Kessel Sabacc episode of the podcast. You just gotta get
where we play Kessel Sabacc.
Yeah, or just show people how to play. People don't even know.
Yeah. I'll need proper chips. We were using Imperial credits. Talking about we're using Imperial credits as the tokens.
Well, we'll have to figure out what they look like and 3D print some.
I'm sure there's a file.
Yeah. So.
Also, today is National Dress Up Your Pet Day.
Oh yeah, and I saw that article. I read your article.
An article, a couple ways to dress up your pet in the Star Wars way.
Well, Hermie's running around naked.
I don't have anything to dress.
We're not representing very well.
No, Hermie doesn't like to wear anything.
No,
his harness to go.
No, yeah, he's not a dress up. He's not a dress up kind of guy.
Freddie used to dress up.
Yeah, but again, thank you everyone. I think I don't know how many people we had. Does it say how many people we have on TikTok? Probably 0.
It says 2.
Oh, we have 2 on TikTok. Okay,
well, I think it's Kenobi.
Kenobi is on. The Kenobi?
It just says Kenobi.
Oh, well, that's good. It's like after all these years of TikToking, I finally get a stream key, and they're going to shut down TikTok.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to post because I had a whole list of, I think, like 70 edits that I wanted to make for TikTok, and I just never got around to them. I had all the files I needed everything for them saved, but I just never actually put them together. And so I'm trying to make as many as I can before TikTok shuts down this Friday or this Saturday.
Well, you're gonna have to save them all.
They're all saved. I actually went through yesterday and I saved a lot of my TikToks I made. Wow. I went back to the very beginning of my profile and saved.
I tried that. I couldn't do it.
You post way more TikToks than I do.
Right. All right, guys. Well, thank you. I think all of our comments died off.
Yeah,
we started talking about. It's late. It's a 10:30 East Coast. It's not late in California.
7:30 over there.
And these new lights are very nice, but they're blinking. And they're
usually Steel from Steel Wars does post episode shows, so tune into him. He's on right now.
Yeah.
Or if he's going on shortly.
Yeah.
And so check it out. I'll be recording one with Lizzie about not just this episode, but the previous one as well. Here shortly. We have, I don't want to say it till we record it, but I have a very special guest coming up on the show that I'm excited about.
All your guests are special.
All my guests are special. We haven't had a guest in a while besides
That's true.
friends.
You're
so this is our first
well, start off the year right. Try to get a guest a month maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, I don't have an outro for this one. We were just doing a short.
Just a little fun live stream.
And I'll throw it up on the feeds in a day or two. So once all the spoiler people.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, thank you everybody.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for
everyone.
and
tuned in.
Yeah. Have a good night.